So according to Carol J. Williams, a senior internal affairs writer for the LA Times in 2017, she stated that we will spend $184 million in the state of California towards the trials, security, and legal representation for death penalty defendants on death row. So today I'm going to be arguing that we should abolish the death penalty because it can save us potentially a ton of money that we can spend to more beneficial programs such as educational needs and construction. And you should listen to my speech today because the money that we are paying in our taxes could go to different programs that could have a more beneficial need for our society rather than seeking the death penalty. So today I will be arguing three different things. The first thing that I'm going to be arguing is that we are spending an extreme amount on death penalty criminal defendants. The second thing I will argue is that abolishing the death penalty can save us millions each year. And the third thing that I will be arguing is that the death penalty is not an efficient deterrent or a efficient way of seeking revenge. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about in my speech is that we are spending an extreme amount on the death penalty in California. So each year, we are actually from 1978, so in the last 27 years, we have spent $4 billion on the death penalty, and we have actually only executed 13 criminals. So for the death penalty. So that means technically we spent $308 million on one person. And that just to me does not seem right to spend $308 million on one single person to basically kill them. And the thing is, each year about 40 cases are brought for the death penalty, brought to attention in California, but only half of those will actually go through the process and be eligible for the death penalty. So from those 40 cases, $20 million is being held responsible for the taxpayers in which those counties where the death penalty trials are taking place. And that means if only half of them are making it through, we are really wasting $10 million that could be going to different needs. So the second thing I'm going to talk about is the solution to this problem. There's lots of solutions, just basically the fact that if we cut this out, we can potentially be saving millions of dollars because we're spending a crazy amount on appointing attorneys for representing these clients. We're spending money on the security for where they are being housed. And according to Larry J. Fisher, who is a business journalist, for the LA Times as well, in 2016, he stated that if we were to cut out the death penalty and instead replace it with a lifetime incarceration, so that's a lifetime sentence without parole, it would actually be half the cost as the whole procedure to go through the death penalty and have those people qualify for it. Another option would be to have the prisoners working while they are in jail for their lifetime parole to sort of pay back the family, so work a job in prison so that they are able to pay back the victims' families and do everything they can to repay what they have done without spending millions of dollars on the process to execute them. So the third thing I'm going to talk to you about today is that seeking revenge through the death penalty is not an efficient way to stop these criminals from doing their acts. No matter what, we're going to have people in our society that know they're doing wrong, and having execution as punishment is not the right way to deal with it. Actually, Randy Stella, who was a criminal who was on death row for 20 years, his case was brought to attention for 20 years, and then actually light was brought to his innocence during a trial, and he was not even guilty for the crime that he had been served, or they told that he was committed for this crime. So he had went through all the trials and stuff, and then they found out that he was innocent, so all the money that he had been using up for his trials and security had been potentially wasted completely. And he stated in an interview that he had that if you want someone to suffer, you should give them the death, or if you want someone to suffer, you shouldn't give them the death penalty. You should give them life without parole because it is worse than dying. So in a sense, the death penalty is kind of an easy way out, and if you want someone to live with their mistakes and have that effect on people, if you give them life without parole, they are stuck to live with their mistakes without having a chance to fix it. So that is a better option. So today in my speech, I have argued 3 different things about abolishing the death penalty. First, I have argued that we are wasting millions of dollars each year and it is too expensive to serve the death penalty. The second thing that I have argued is that if we were to cut out the death penalty, it could potentially save us millions of dollars each year. And the third thing that I have talked to you about today is that the death penalty is not an efficient deterrent to keep criminals from committing crimes. So I hope you take this information and you learn something about this and you vote to abolish the death penalty.